Sometimes life doesn't destroy your dreams in a single day. Sometimes it slowly pulls them away, piece by piece, until you begin to wonder if they were ever meant to come true. This story is for every girl who was told her dreams were too big, for every person who was asked to choose responsibility over ambition, and for everyone who refused to stop believing. In a small village surrounded by endless fields and dusty roads, lived a 17-year-old girl named Aisha. Unlike most girls her age, Aisha wasn't known for her beauty or wealth. She was known for her determination. Every morning before sunrise, she helped her mother prepare breakfast, cleaned the house, and then rushed to school, carrying her books close to her chest. School wasn't just a place for learning. It was her escape, her hope, her future. While many students complained about homework, Aisha loved studying. Mathematics was her favorite subject, and she spent hours solving problems long after classes ended. Her teachers admired her dedication. Her classmates often asked for her help. Everyone knew she was one of the brightest students in the village. One afternoon, during a classroom discussion, the teacher asked a simple question: "What do you want to become when you grow up?" Students easily shared their answers. Doctor, a police officer, engineer. Then it was Aisha's turn. She stood up confidently. "I want to become a teacher." The classroom became quiet. The teacher smiled. "And why a teacher?" Aisha looked around at her classmates before answering. "Because education changes lives. If I become a teacher, I can help other girls believe in themselves and achieve their dreams." The teacher nodded proudly. Never stop chasing that dream. Those words stayed with her. Whenever life became difficult, she remembered them. Months passed, and final exams were approaching. Aisha studied harder than ever before. Late at night, while the rest of the village slept peacefully, a small lamp continued glowing inside her room. She revised lessons, solved equations, and prepared for the future she dreamed about. Every day brought her closer to her goal, or so she believed. One evening, after returning from school, she noticed several relatives gathered inside her home. Everyone looked unusually serious. Her father called her into the room. "Aisha, sit down." A strange feeling filled her heart. Slowly, she sat beside her mother. Then her father spoke. "Your marriage has been arranged." For a moment, Aisha couldn't understand what she had heard. "My marriage?" Her father nodded. "The family is respectable. The boy is hardworking. This is a good opportunity." Aisha felt her heart sink. "But my exams are next month." No one answered. "I want to finish school." Silence. "I want to continue studying." Her mother lowered her eyes. The decision had already been made. That night, Aisha cried harder than she ever had before. She begged her parents to reconsider. She explained her dreams. She promised she would make them proud. But nothing changed. The wedding preparations continued. Her textbooks were pushed aside. Her school uniform remained hanging in the corner of her room. Each day felt like watching her future disappear. Yet deep inside, a small voice refused to give up. She remembered something her teacher once said: "Dreams don't work unless you do." If her dream truly mattered, she couldn't let it die completely, so she made a secret promise to herself. No matter what happened, she would never stop learning. A few weeks later, the wedding took place. Relatives celebrated. Music played. Guests smiled and congratulated her. Everyone saw a happy bride. But inside, Aisha felt broken. As she left her childhood home, she looked back one last time. The school she loved. The village roads she walked every day. The life she had imagined for herself. Everything seemed farther away than ever before. Her new home was in another village. The people were kind, but everything felt unfamiliar. Soon, her days became filled with cooking, cleaning, washing clothes, and endless responsibilities. From sunrise until night, she remained busy, yet her heart felt empty. She missed her books. She missed her teachers. Most of all, she missed her dream. One evening, while unpacking her belongings, she discovered an old notebook hidden inside her suitcase. It contained years of notes, lessons, and plans for the future. Carefully, she opened it. Page after page brought back memories. For the first time in weeks, she smiled. That night, after everyone had gone to sleep, she lit a small lamp and began reading. She didn't know it, but someone had noticed the light beneath her door. Someone who was about to change her life forever. Aisha's heart began to race. The footsteps outside her room stopped. She quickly closed her notebook and lowered the flame of the small oil lamp. A gentle knock echoed through the silence. Aisha. Are you awake? It was her father-in-law, Mr. Kareem. She slowly opened the door, expecting to be scolded. Instead, she found an elderly man standing there with a warm smile. I noticed the light under your door, he said softly. May I come in? Aisha stepped aside without saying a word. Mr. Kareem glanced at the notebook lying on the bed. Those aren't recipe books, he said with a smile. Aisha lowered her eyes. They're my old school notebooks. You still read them? She nodded. Whenever I miss school. There was a long silence. Then Mr. Kareem picked up the notebook and carefully turned its pages. He saw pages filled with mathematics problems, English grammar notes, and neatly written lesson plans. You wrote all this? Yes, before my marriage. He looked at her with genuine admiration. You must have been an excellent student. Aisha smiled sadly. Were? My dream ended after marriage. Mr. Kareem gently closed the notebook. No, child. She looked at him in surprise. A dream doesn't end because life changes. It ends only when we stop believing in it. Those words touched something deep inside her heart. For the first time since leaving school, someone believed her dreams still mattered. The next morning, Aisha couldn't stop thinking about the conversation. She expected everything to return to normal. But after breakfast, Mr. Kareem called her into the courtyard. In his hands was a small stack of books. I want you to have these. She looked closer. Old English grammar books, mathematics guides, teaching manuals. Books that had once belonged to him during his years as a school principal. I've kept them for many years, he said. I think they're waiting for the right student. Aisha couldn't believe what she was seeing. No one had ever given her a gift that meant so much. She held the books carefully, as though they were priceless treasures. Thank you, Babaji. He smiled. Promise me you'll read them. I will. And promise me something else, As. What is it? Never let anyone convince you that learning has an age limit. That evening, after finishing every household chore, Aisha opened one of the books. Hours passed without her realizing it. For the first time in months, she wasn't simply surviving. She was learning again. A few days later, Mr. Kareem approached her with another surprise. From today, he said, I'll teach you every evening. Aisha looked shocked. You'll teach me? I spent 35 years teaching children. He laughed softly. I haven't forgotten how. From that day onward, every evening after dinner, they sat together in the quiet courtyard. Sometimes they studied mathematics. Sometimes English. Sometimes they simply talked about life. Whenever Aisha made a mistake, she became embarrassed. I'm sorry. Mr. Kareem would smile. A mistake isn't proof that you're failing. It's proof that you're learning. Those simple words slowly rebuilt the confidence she had lost. Weeks turned into months. Day by day, Aisha began remembering everything she thought she had forgotten. One evening, while solving a difficult problem, she suddenly became frustrated. I can't do this. Mr. Kareem looked at her calmly. Why not? I've forgotten too much. He shook his head. No, you've only forgotten to believe in yourself. Then he pointed toward a small mango tree growing near the wall. When I planted that tree, it was shorter than your knee. It looked weak. It bent every time the wind blew. But I never stopped watering it. Today, it gives shade to everyone. He smiled. People grow the same way. If someone believes in them, they become stronger than they ever imagined. Aisha looked at the tree. For the first time, she realized he wasn't talking about the tree. He was talking about her. As weeks passed, her husband, Imran, also noticed the change. The sadness in Aisha's eyes was slowly disappearing. She laughed more. She smiled more. One evening he asked, do you really enjoy studying that much? Aisha looked at him and nodded. It reminds me of who I really am. Imran smiled. Then don't stop. Those 3 words meant more to her than he could ever imagine. She finally felt that she wasn't fighting alone anymore. She had people who believed in her. But neither Aisha nor Mr. Kareem knew that life was about to present an opportunity far greater than they had ever expected. The very next morning, Mr. Kareem returned home from the town carrying a sealed envelope in his hand. Aisha noticed the excitement on his face. Babaji, what happened? He smiled and handed her the envelope. Open it. Her hands trembled as she carefully unfolded the letter. It was from the district education office. She read the words once, then again. Her eyes filled with tears. The letter invited her to appear for a teaching certification examination. If she passed, She would be eligible to become an officially recognized teacher. For a moment, she couldn't believe it. She looked at Mr. Kareem. You did this for me? He gently shook his head. No, my child. I only told them about a young woman who teaches children with all her heart. He smiled warmly. I opened the door. Now it's your turn to walk through it. Those words stayed with Aisha. She knew this opportunity could change her life forever. But she also knew the road ahead wouldn't be easy. From that day on, every hour of her life had a purpose. Before sunrise, she completed the household chores. During the afternoon, she continued teaching the village children. At night, she studied until her eyes grew tired. There were moments when she wanted to quit. Sometimes the lessons felt too difficult. Sometimes she doubted herself. One evening she placed her books aside. What if I fail? Mr. Kareem looked at her calmly. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of success. She looked at him quietly. The only people who never fail are the ones who never try. Those words gave her new strength. She picked up her books again and kept studying. Finally, the day of the examination arrived. The examination hall was filled with candidates from different towns. Many looked younger, many looked more confident. For a brief moment, fear returned. She wondered if she truly belonged there. Then she remembered every obstacle she had already overcome. She had survived disappointment. She had survived losing her education. She had rebuilt her confidence from nothing. Compared to those struggles, an examination was simply another step. She closed her eyes, took a deep breath, and began writing. Several weeks later, the results finally arrived. The entire family gathered in the courtyard. Mr. Kareem handed Aisha the official envelope. Her heart beat faster than ever before. Slowly, she opened it. Her eyes scanned the page. Then suddenly tears rolled down her cheeks. She smiled. I passed. For a second, nobody spoke. Then the courtyard filled with celebration. Her husband hugged her proudly. Neighbors came to congratulate her. The children she had been teaching cheered with excitement. Mr. Kareem simply smiled. He had believed in her long before the rest of the world did. A few months later, Aisha officially began teaching at the village school. Every morning she entered the classroom with confidence. The same dream that once seemed impossible had finally become reality. Her classroom soon became filled with laughter, curiosity, and hope. Parents who once believed girls didn't need education slowly changed their thinking. More daughters were sent to school. More dreams were born. Aisha wasn't just teaching lessons anymore. She was changing lives. One afternoon, after class, Aisha noticed a little girl sitting alone beneath a tree. The child was crying quietly. Aisha sat beside her. Why are you crying? The little girl wiped her tears. My father says girls don't need school. For a moment, Aisha saw her younger self. She gently held the little girl's hand. I once heard those same words. The little girl looked surprised. You did? Aisha smiled. Yes. But I never stopped believing. She pointed toward the school building behind them. Dreams don't disappear because people doubt them. They disappear only when we stop believing in ourselves. The little girl smiled through her tears. At that moment, Aisha realized something important. Her greatest achievement wasn't passing the exam. It was giving someone else the courage to dream. That evening, Aisha and Mr. Kareem stood outside the school watching the sunset. Children's laughter echoed through the playground. Aisha smiled. Baba Ji, what if you hadn't believed in me? Mr. Kareem looked toward the sky, then replied softly. Every dream deserves someone who believes in it. He paused before adding, but remember, the real strength was never mine. It was always yours. Aisha looked across the schoolyard filled with happy children. Years earlier, she had believed her story had ended. Instead, it had only just begun. Final must say sometimes life delays your dreams. Sometimes it tests your patience. Sometimes it closes every door. But if you keep believing, keep learning, and keep moving forward, one day, the very dream you almost gave up on may become the reason someone else never gives up on theirs. Never stop believing in yourself. Because, one day, your story could become someone else's inspiration. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss another heartwarming and inspiring story. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.